Actually go back to the story that we were talking about on Sunday in the verses where they were questioning his, I'm going to say they questioned his authority, but they also wanted to question his authenticity. Listen, even his cousin, anybody remember his cousin named John? They called him the Baptist. Even his cousin questioned his authenticity, if not his authority. While he was in prison awaiting execution, he said, listen, go ask Jesus if he is the one, or do we seek another? And some would say, what? How could he not know? They were blood kin. But he wanted to make sure that he knew what was going on. And Jesus told him what to go tell him. Tell him this is happening. Tell him this is what's going on. Tell him how prophecy is being fulfilled. Amen? And so here we are in Luke, and actually back here in Luke chapter 20, they are, this whole dissertation, this whole chapter deals with them tempting Jesus, challenging his authority. We see, and listen to this, one day he was teaching the people, this is chapter 20, he was teaching the people in the temple complex and proclaiming the good news. The chief priests and the scribes and the elders came up and said to him, tell us, this is pretty straightforward, isn't it? Tell us, by what authority are you doing these things? Who is it who gave you this authority? And he answered them, I will also ask you a question. Tell me, was the baptism of John from heaven or from men? And they discussed it among themselves. If we say from heaven, he will say, why didn't we believe him? But if we say from men, all the people will stone us, because they are convinced that John was a prophet. And so they answered that they did not know its origin. What was Jesus' answer? He says, neither will I tell you by what authority I do these things. Oh, listen, you've done this before. When you were children, if you're talking to dad, you say mom said. If you're talking to mom, you say dad said. Sometimes in the church, you'll go and say, well, pastor said. By what authority do you say? By what authority do you do? Amen? And so here he is. Jesus is actually being questioned. And he goes on he talks about the parable about the vineyard and the owner. And it says that a man, he planted a vineyard and he leased it to the tenant farmers, and he went away for a long time. At the harvest time, he sent a slave to the farmers so that they might give him some of the fruit from the vineyard. But the farmers beat him and sent him away empty-handed. It goes